Sri Aurobindo says in The Secret of the Veda that there are two major myths around which everything rotates. Yes, and the myth of the dawn and the myth of Angiras Rishis. Angiras Rishis are our powers, the universal forefathers, who discovered the secret of the Veda, hidden in the darkness, and liberated the sun, the dawn, a new heaven. The herds of light, the herds of the sun were liberated, the waters were liberated, everything became free and charged our unregenerated hemisphere, our lower consciousness, with the consciousness of a higher hemisphere, which was stolen and hidden in the subconscious cave. So subconscious cave, which holds the inner light, is to be liberated. And the light is to be liberated. The cave is to be broken. And with the help of Indra, Soma, Agni, Angiras Rishis, Brihaspati with his cry, this cavern, this Vala, a subconscious cave is broken, and the light stored in it, stolen over millennia, is finally liberated. So this is the Angiras Rishis. But the dawn, interestingly, is why Sri Aurobindo says that the dawn and Angiras Rishis. There's something fundamental about the dawn, which we usually do not perceive. We know that the dawn is bringing the light into darkness, yes? That there are two sisters, the night and dawn, and night vacates her spaces for the dawn from the Rigvedic imagery. We read about the dawn in the symbol dawn, the first canto of Savitri. Sri Aurobindo starts with the dawn, yes? It is she who comes to the night and illumines every corner, pours her supreme light into the darkness. And he ends with the dawn, his Savitri, yes? That the night in her bosom nurtured a greater dawn. These are the last words of Savitri. So the dawn, why the dawn? When we speak about, you remember we spoke about three major godheads, Shiva, Vishnu, and Brihaspati of the Puranas, and somebody even asked Sri Aurobindo that why so few hymns are dedicated to these godheads, major godheads of Hinduism and Vedas. Only few hymns are in the Rigveda. His answer was quite interesting, that actually, the activity of Rudra is through his son, through Agni. Agni is the action of Rudra, yes? And there is the action of Indra from above, the lightning coming from above, bringing his Vajra, that very Vajra of Vishnu. So Vishnu is acting through Indra, bringing his lightning, yes, intuitive lightning from the overmental realm. Overmental is a more universal, vaster realm. But when it is narrowed down, pointed to one particular purpose, then it becomes the action of intuition, or Indra. Yeah? And it breaks through the ceiling and brings this light. So these Agni and Indra are the most popular godheads in the Rigveda. There are more than 220 hymns to Agni and more than 260 to Indra. Yeah? Indra is the first in the numbers of hymns, then Agni. So in a way, they are reflecting the action of these greater godheads of Vishnu and Rudra. Yeah? And in that sense, Vishnu and Rudra are present. They are present in activities, in a constant action upon consciousness, upon our antariksha, where the change, the yajna is taking place. Similar with the dawn, there are no many hymns, there are only few hymns to Aditi and Adityas. And mainly Vasishtha. Actually, Vasishtha is the most dedicated to the Divine Mother in some way. Though he was the follower of Varuna, he was the disciple of Varuna. He is Maitra Varuni. His Gotra is Maitra Varuni. And still he has the biggest number of hymns to the dawn and to Aditi and Adityas. And you remember we started this hymn to Aditi and Adityas. Aditayach, yeah? Adityaso Aditayach Siyama, it starts. It's an amazing hymn because it is unthinkable in any way. He says, may we be Aditis and Adityas. How can that even be pronounced in that way? May we be Aditis and Adityas in plural. But there is something important. So Aditi is just mentioned here and there, briefly, the same as Vishnu and Rudra, very briefly, very few references, few hymns, only 3 hymns to Rudra and few to Vishnu, and also in combination with other devatas. But there are many to Indra and Agni, and there are 21 hymns to Usha. So Usha is this action of Aditi. That's what I want to say. So through Usha, through the dawn, we learn about the Divine Mother. It is an important thing to understand. That it's not about the dawn. It's about the action of the Divine Mother upon this world. When she herself reaches out, she is the savior. It is to her Agni who is rising, our soul is rising from the depth of the inconscient, immortal among mortals, comes to her as a beggar, begging for delight. It is he who comes to her, and she reaches out to him like the feeding cow to feed his calf. His calf has to be fed by her presence, by her milk. She is the cow, and he is a calf. We are a calf here, our souls, coming to her, to the Divine Mother, to be fed. She is feeding us with her light, power, might, direct might, the transcendental might and knowledge, greater than knowledge and ignorance, something which is of intrinsic value, of the absolute value. So this is an important kind of beginning to think of the dawn in this way. I have the whole article prepared, like, 14 pages on this, and I would like you to read. I will send you the article. It's kind of introduction to the hymns of Usha. So hymns of Usha, there are 21 hymns, interesting number, to the dawn. Sacred number, 21. Here is my file. I never in my life presented the hymns to the dawn to any group. It is my first attempt. I was studying it. I created the whole study material, or let us say research material. I would like you to read all this through, with Sri Aurobindo's quotations, references to Savitri, and so on. You will understand what it is all about. So 21 hymns to Usha. So we can see here there are, in the first mandala there are few of them. So by the Praskanva Kanva, 2 hymns, 148 and 149 by the Gautama Rahuganaha, 1 hymn, by Kutsangirasa, 1 hymn, 3 hymns by Kakshivan, Dirghatamasach, the son of Dirghatamas, very famous cryptic rishi of the first mandala. 1 hymn by Vishwamitra, which Sri Aurobindo translated, and with commentary we will read it. 2 hymns by Vamadeva from the 4th mandala. two hymns by Satya Shravas Atreya from the fifth mandala, which are translated by Sri Aurobindo and commentary is given. Two hymns by Bharhaspatya Bharadvaja, you see here. And no, look at how many hymns from Vasishtha, seventh mandala. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 hymns by Vasishtha to the dawn herself, to the Divine Mother. So today I wanted to start with jump straight forward to the Kutsangirasa, my nearly favorite. I bypass first 3 and come back to them later. I want to start with something which is easier for our perception. Here it is. And Kutsangirasa is famous because he is the follower of Indra, and he has beautiful last hymns to the dawn, to Rudra, and to the sun. And we read the hymn to the sun, if you remember that, of Kutsangirasa 115, when we studied the hymns to Surya. And there in that hymn to Surya, he also mentions the dawn. Maybe I should look into it for a second before I start this hymn, because it will give us the background. Looking for it, where it is. Oh, here it is, most probably. Yeah. Here it is, 115. Oh, let me project it. Oh, it's the same, sorry. Yes. Yes, Kinshuk.
Vladimir, is there any reason why we are not starting with the mantra today?
Oh, yeah, I will start with the mantra. Yeah, absolutely. I'm sorry. Before the hymns, I'm kind of speaking because we are speaking freely now. Yeah? And now I will start when we start with the hymn. Yes, absolutely. Let's open the hymn and begin with mantra. Om Vang me manasi pratishthitam, mano me vachi pratishthitam, aviravirma edhi vedasyama anisthaha shrutam me ma prahasihi anena dhitena horatran samdadhami Ritam vadishyami, satyam vadishyami, tanmamavatu, tadvaktaramavatu, avatu mam, avatu vaktaram, avatu vaktaram. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. All right, so this is Kutsangirasa. This will be our first rishi for the dawn, but he has also 115 to the sun, Surya. Very rare and beautiful hymn, also commented by Sri Aurobindo. And here, if I read, Chitram Devana Mudagada Nikam, Chakshuh mitrasya varonasya agneh, apradyava prithivya antariksham, Surya atma, jagatastasthusascha, Suryo devim, Usha samrochamanam, Maryona yosham abhyeti paschat, Yatra naro devayanto yugani, Vitanvate pratibhadraya bhadram. So the first one, briefly, I will read the interpretation. The power, anikam, or the front, literally. the army of the light, fully conscious Chitram of all the gods has risen. This is the sun, the power, the front, the army of all the gods has risen. The eye of the consciousness supreme of being and of will, Mitrasya, Varunasya, Agneh, it is the vision, the consciousness, filling the earth and heaven and air, the sun, the self of all that moves and moves not. So the sun is the supermind, is rising. And here, interesting next passage with the dawn. Suryodevim ushasam rochamanam. The sun follows after the dawn, resplendent goddess, as a boy follows a lady, or the young man, let us say, where the heroic souls of men, struggling, seeking after the divine manifestation, spread the blissful for the blissful. So he follows the dawn. It seems she is leading him in. She is the one who manifests the supermind here. It is because of her he goes there into time and space where all these heroic souls of man, that is we, who we are, try to make the sacrifice work, to spread blissful for the blissful. We are spreading the divine for the divine's sake here, through us, through our souls. And there she is leading the sun to rise. This is an important beginning for us, to understand the relations between sun and the dawn. Let me take the hymn of Kutsangirasa, now 113, which precedes the sun. So this is the hymn. It's longish hymn, but it is really much here to learn. Idam shreshtham jyotisham jyotiragat chitrach praketach ajanishta vibhva yatha prasuta savituk savayam evara trimushase yonim araik. The best light of all lights has come. The best light of all lights possible has come. Bright vision is born, widely spreading, as being propelled by the uprising of the god Savitar. Savitar is the next, yes? First is the dawn. She breaks the darkness. She actually builds the first hues of light. Why she is so beautiful? Because she has these hues, the transition from the total darkness through all kinds of hues of light to the time when Savitar is rising. And the time of the Savitar, as we know it in India, is in between the dawn and the sun, when the disk of the sun is visible. Between this short period of time is the time of Savitar. And in that moment, every Brahmin has to recite Tat Savitur Varenyam, yes? Savitri or Gayatri mantra. So, as being propelled by uprising of the god Savitar, as if pushed, as if. Yeah? The night, yatha, you see, the yatha is used, because it's not true. It's not true. The dawn is pulling him. The Savitar is following her. And it is as if it is pushed by Savitar that she goes there. No, it's she who brings Savitar and the sun into manifestation. Thus the night has vacated the birth place for the dawn. Eva ratri ushase yonim arek. Yonim is, here it is translated as a birthplace, but truly speaking, Yoni is the is the place where everything is located. Yes, it's from root U, which gives the location of what there's. It's also a womb where the divine is born. It is the universe, actually. Krishna says in the Gita that Samam Brahma is my yoni. This spirit, equal spirit all over, is my yoni into which I cast the seed. Yoni is the universe. Yeah? So she vacates the universe, the universal spaces, to the dawn. Ratri, her twin sister. So they're both moving together, yes? The dawn comes and the sister night leaves the space, the universe, for her to fill it in. It's the vision of the Veda. And then number 2. Rushat vatsa, rushati, shveti agat, araik u Krishna sadanani asyach, samana bandhuham rete anuchi, Dhyava varnam charata aminane. Shining and bright has she come with shining offspring. Rushat vatsa, she is with shining vatsa. Rushati, shining and bright. Shveti, bright. Rushati, shining. She comes with her offspring, shining offspring, Rushat Vatsa, also shining. That is the light of Agni. Agni is approaching her. He is always following her. He is the one who actually invokes her, who calls to her to come. It is our calling flame within the heart, to which she answers as a grace. It's the mother's grace, answering to our aspiration in the heart. And the dark night emptied for her dwellings. If we were in the night, and Agni is shining also in the night, but when the dawn comes, that night is vacated for the dawn, for the Divine Mother. Both are immortal. Samana bandhu amrite. The heavenly sister. The heavenly sisters move together. Dhyava, Anuchi. Interesting that they are called both Dhyava. Dhyava is a dual, Vedic dual. Both are heavenly. Both are luminous. Follow each other by changing their colors. Varnam charata aminane. They change only the colors, but they are of the same nature. This will be mentioned many times in the hymns of the Rigveda. They are with the same mind, but different in form. They are changing only colors, but doing the same work. This is the great revelation by the Vedic rishis, that the night is here to work for the divine, and not only to obstruct the divine, but by obstruction to help the greater light to be born. This is the interpretation by the Mother and Sri Aurobindo, that all these anti-divine and undivine forces are permitted only for one reason: to strengthen the divine manifestation, to challenge it, and to bring it more into action. So all the obstacles, all the darkness is only for one reason: to finally vacate the space for the greater light, to make the greater light shine even brighter. Samane adva svasaroch anantach tam anya charato devashishte namethete na tasthatuh sumeke Namete te natasthatuk sumeke naktoshasa samanasa virupe. This is what I was referring to. They follow the same path of the infinite, changing each other as they were taught by the god. Devashishte. They are instructed by the divine. Charatach. Anyanya charatach. They follow one after the other. Very simple language, nearly classical tongue. Samanach. They follow the same Samanach Adhvan, same path, Svasroch, of the two sisters. Anantach, infinite, same and infinite path they follow, changing each other as if taught by the divine what to do, instructed how to proceed. They do not mix. Namet hete. Do not stop. Natasthaduh. Night and dawn, well measured. Naktoshasa. Sumeke, well measured. Well created in their own formation to proceed in this ongoing evolution of consciousness, to alternate the darkness and light, and to allow more and more light to come. This is the alternation of the light and darkness is so important because we cannot receive the intensity of the divine light and consciousness here on earth, because it will crush us down. It is too strong. It is too luminous, too true and blissful. It will destroy the manifestation. But the manifestation is to go slowly and accommodate more and more light into the darkness, building this multiplicity of creation, allowing it to sustain itself and not to be crushed by the divine presence. And for that slow and tardy process of evolution is important. An alternation of the light and darkness was envisioned by the divine. It is his wisdom. We cannot receive more than we can receive. Otherwise we will be crushed. That's why most probably there are so few in the world muktas, liberated souls, because we would all rush out from this manifestation without doing our work here and converting these fallen emanations into the divine properties. If we would be muktas, so we are not given that, possibility to be freed too soon. We will read about this again, that the Divine Mother holds in her bosom the Agni, the flame growing slowly until she herself becomes the queen, Maheshi, and only then, when she becomes the queen, she can deliver him to his father. Then only he is free to rule. But he has to do this work. He has to convert the darkness into the queen, into the Divine Mother, in the full resplendent manifestation of the divine. So the darkness holds him. He instructed these two sisters to alternate and to facilitate the evolution of consciousness. They are well measured. They are not mixing up very easily. You cannot jump into the light in the night or into the night in the light. They have their own measurement, their own procedure, their own extension, as it were. Samanasa, virupa, with the same mind, but different in form. But they have the same intention. Manifestation of the divine. Both. These two, night and dawn, are the two mothers of the flame of Agni. It is said many times in the Veda, they feed the flame. The mother of light and the mother of darkness, they are both the mothers of the flame. And I will take one more, and here we will stop. Bhasvati netri sundratanam acheti chitra vidro na avah prarpya jagat vi rayo akhyat usha ajigar bhuvanani vishva. The shining leader of the happy truths was seen. Acheti was perceived, was received in consciousness. It's not even seen. Bright. She revealed to us her portals. Chitra vidurach nach avar. She uncovered for us her portals, her doors. There are many doors and portals by which we can enter into the supramental and transcendental and to the beyond. She shows us those ways by which we can proceed and grow into the higher and higher consciousness, compelling the world to move forward. Prarpya jagat vi uno rayo khyat vi uno rayo akhyat prarpya jagat vyuno rayo khyat rayo akhyat. I'm trying to reconcile with the meter. Prarpya akhyat vi uno rayo akhyat. This is the proper way. Compelling the world to move forward, she revealed to us the treasures. Vi akhyat. Literally, she saw or perceived or also made us see the true treasures, Raya. She revealed to us the treasures. The dawn has awakened all the worlds. Usha Ajigach Bhuvanani Vishva. It is with the dawn that the whole world is waking up. You remember when we had these power cuts there was this hurricane in the US. Well, in India it's more common, power cuts. But we had no power for 3 or 4 days. I remember that. Every morning you wake up with the dawn. And this is something interesting. You start appreciating what it means. The whole world, all the birds starts, moving and chirping, and the whole life comes with it. And not only that, you start finally seeing the silhouettes of things. You start seeing trees, you start seeing the buildings. You can't see anything without light. And then everything comes to manifestation as if revived by the light of the dawn. Everything becomes alive. Everything wakes up. Everything starts living again. This is an amazing inspiration which comes from every day, actually. But we, with our electrical light, we cannot really even see that anymore. We just know it theoretically. Okay, I will stop here and open to the questions and to some sharings, insights, thoughts on the dawn as the Divine Mother. By the way, we have with us Gunhild Jelinek, and she was given the name Usha. Yes, Gunhild, she is from Germany, from Bonn, the oldest friend of mine, actually. We met in Pune University in 91. Yes, Gunhild. Yes, Usha.
Yes. Yeah.
Great. Any thoughts on this, what we start our journey? Definitely, it's a long way to go, but we will learn more and more about this marvelous, beautiful manifestation of the Divine Mother. Sri Aurobindo says these hymns are the most beautiful among all in the Rigveda. They are the most poetic hymns.
Vladimir, can I ask a question, please?
Yes.
Could you please explain a little bit more about this changing colors of the night and dawn? I mean,
Well,
apart from dark and light, what else is being referred to? Is it the changing of nature? I don't know, I'm asking.
one can say change of nature, change of varna. Varna is the quality of consciousness, yeah. The change of quality of consciousness, in which is kind of, because darkness is nothing but light which forgot about the Supreme or has no access to the Supreme. Yeah? And that light darkness is illumined suddenly by the light which remembers the Supreme. That shift in perception, in consciousness, is taking place, yes.
Thank you.
I recollect this mother when she went to inconscient and she saw a Purusha, divine Purusha, and on approaching mother, he opened his eye, and then mother showed there the hues of color were emitting from him. So does that vision and this vision has got similarity? Any similarity?
Yeah, it is that hidden light in the darkness which has to be recovered, yes. And interesting when the Angiras Rishi Smith, yes, when they break that cavern, the darkness, and release that light, which is hidden in the darkness, they manifest a new sun, a new dawn, a new heaven is rising from the darkness. So the dawn is there. Interestingly, there is the whole passage where the dawn is liberating herself from the darkness also. This is the language, the symbolic language by which Vedic rishis had to express something which is far beyond mental knowledge. Yes? The mind born from this body cannot really know. So they had to use the symbols of nature, and which are actually beautifully matching with physical nature. As we saw when the dawn is rising slowly, everything wakes up. She makes everything alive. We suddenly see silhouettes, we see the forms, we see ourselves and everyone, because the dawn brought the light and then brought Surya, the sun, and it is happening every day. Every day the manifestation of the supermind is taking place in the physical world as a symbol. Yes, preparing us for this final arrival of the supramental manifestation in our consciousness. It's that which nature follows, and of which Vedic rishis made a symbol for the awakening of the spiritual consciousness in us. And in that sense, it's well hidden because it matches totally with the outer nature. And so everybody who doesn't want to see that inner process, they will see only outer nature and say, well, they describe what is there outside, and that's it. This is the way how they hid the truth by not hiding it.
Just one more point on this. You said that this Angirasha Rishi break the cave and release the light, and mother's vision or mother's experience of this emittance of light. So these two are the same. So mother has happened just now, just 100 years before, and Angirasha Rishi is a very very prachin. So does that mean that any consciousness which is transforming itself on the brink of transformation is undergoing this symbolic vision each and every, and if in future also this vision is going to happen every time?
Absolutely.
This is recurring.
I think so. This is constantly one work to do, yes, to bring more and more. But with the avatar, the first avatar which you mentioned at the bottom of the inconscient, which mother arrived at, and for the first time he opened. It's not he. It has no gender, she says. It opened its eyes. And for the first time in the whole life of the universe, and that means became more active. It is that which plunged into the inconscient and hid itself. It's that hidden sun, Vivasvat. Yeah? Because he is there, the inconscient does its work, as Sri Aurobindo says in Savitri. Because he is there, the world forgets to die. Because there is a divine hidden within the darkness, the world can continue in the darkness in its evolutionary growth. It is something more fundamental, than the recovery of the subconscious cave hidden treasures, which were accumulated there by our panis, by the senses of action, so to say, karmendriyas, as we spoke about this in our course on the Vedic vision in Sri Aurobindo Savitri. So they steal constantly from us our inspiration, our dawn's inspiration. It's interesting, there is a hymn we will read about this, where it is said that Rishi invokes, dawn, please come, but let panis sleep. Let them not wake up to your light, because they will steal your light. Yeah? Hurry and let them sleep. They are afraid that these portals which she is opening, the vision of the true achievement will be again darkened by these, robbers of the dark, and stolen and put in the subconscious cave. And this is happening all the time, in every life, in everyone's life. We are constantly awakening, and then we are darkening. Did you notice? Why did we lose that which was there already? It was so luminous. I could have stayed there. No, again darkened, and again and again. This is our major problem, which we have to solve. And we are trying to solve it again and again and again every day.
I think it's really interesting what you said about the darkness being necessary for us, that we can't take the full light. So it's kind of compassionate that we have the darkness, but the darkness is nothing but the light hidden inside of it. It has equally the light. And I'm thinking this is a particularly auspicious day to be talking about this, because this is the summer solstice. This is the day when there's the most amount of daylight, at least for those of us in the northern hemisphere. This is when we have the most daylight. And so our lives really do have those same cycles of more light and less darkness, and more darkness and more light. But the more darkness, the winter, the nighttime, is necessary for us to build up the strength to take more light. Mm. I used to think of it as a very negative thing, but I'm seeing it as a very positive thing now.
Yeah. It's interesting that our field of action is darkness. Yes, we have to transform it, to charge it with light more and more, and we are the instrumental kind of means for this, for this work, sacrificial work. And at the same time, it is needed for the sake of us not being dissolved too soon, and to maintain this kind of multiplicity of creation. The divine is to grow through this multiplicity, and to maintain multiplicity, the separation, the darkness is needed. If it is not there, then we dissolve again into the origin. Then that means all manifestation is again lost. This is not to be. That's why they are well instructed, Deva Shishte. They are instructed by the divine not to mix, but to alternate their movement. It's this dynamic truth, yes? Breathing in, breathing out, rising up, rising down. This is the way forward, because in this way, constantly we acquire new consciousness, maintaining our form, so to say, individual form. We become individual supremes in this constant process forward. This is the secret knowledge of the integral yoga, why we should retain and maintain our individual form, and not to be very keen to dissolve it into the impersonal being. It is not our purpose. Our purpose is to manifest the divine and not to dissolve ourselves and our nature in the divine. If the divine would want to do it, it would do it very quickly. There is no issue. It will come a little more and we will be all dissolved. But it doesn't. It alternates its light with the darkness, gives only that what we can receive and accommodate, and move forward, receive more, accommodate more. And this is how we are growing. It makes sense. It's very logical in a way. It's not something we cannot understand. That's why there is no hurry. We should not be in a hurry to do things. As Mother says, pull the divine down. It's very dangerous to pull it down. It will crush the mind and the vital, and people become unstable, mentally unstable, because there's too much light. Something is dissolved, resolved. A person doesn't remember who he is, starts kind of imagining things, other forces come in. So it needs to be done in a proper measurement of the divine presence. Sumeke, they are well measured. They know what they are doing. We cannot do this work egoistically, individually, no. We can invoke and hope for the grace. He comes to her as a beggar, begging for delight. Agni comes to her as a beggar. This is such a beautiful kind of verse. We are beggars here for the grace of the Mother.
Vladimir, I was reminded when you were, and I think in these verses, just reminded of Savitri. I think one I put here, I think that is from Book 10, Canto 2, very appropriate to what you just said.
Yeah.
Night is not our beginning, nor our end. And here he says exactly what you just said. I think it just, she is the dark mother in whose womb we have hid, safe from too swift awaking to world pain. And then he says, this is very beautiful. We came to her from a supernal light. By light we live, and to the light we go. So I think that we came to her from a supernal light. That's very interesting. Selby was saying that, and I think Narad had posted something about this too. There is nothing like darkness, right? I think there's some quotation of Sri Aurobindo on this. So just, this came to mind. And also, I don't know why I thought of this another verse in Savitri where I think it's in the Book of Fate, where he says in the beginning, right, the demons wept with joy. So it's very interesting that, they also know that they have come, I think you were saying, right? They have come for a purpose to, so they have a place in the plan, right? And he says the self-chosen doom, I think is the words he used. So beautiful, self-chosen doom. I mean, they have chosen to participate in this way, right? To make us go through the struggle and the joy of, this ever-growing consciousness. So just some things that just came to mind. So I wanted to share.
Yeah, absolutely. So thank you so much. Yes, they're why they are drawn, why the dark forces are drawn to the light forces, why this struggle, why this battle. Yeah? Because they want transformation. They do not know why they are drawn to light. Of course, in their selfish self-explanation, they will say that if they want to maintain their status quo, but truly speaking, deeply looking, they want the transformation. And this is the hidden kind of agenda, the divine agenda. Yeah. Everything makes sense. Everything finds its right place in this vision of the Veda. But when we move away to some kind of thinking, philosophizing, and then everything becomes questionable. Very difficult to find relations, meaningful relations between things. Yeah, some other thoughts? Kinshuk is thinking something deeply.
I anyway speak too much, Vladimir, so I am
Yeah,
ashamed.
yeah.
So what I was thinking was, if night and day are basically of the same essential thing and only different in form, it becomes our duty to try and penetrate into the night, even during sleep or during darkness. That is possibly our task.
Yeah, to become conscious of integrating what we received into the night rather than to be lost in the night. Yes, unconsciously.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes. Because many places it is said that when you retain your consciousness even in your sleep, that is good progress.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so that is not possible for all, no. As he said, those who can retain their consciousness, those only should venture into the night, right?
Right.
That is also
Not
true.
for all.
Yes.
Not for all.
Not for all. And actually, the nature is taking care of it. So
Yes, exactly.
when you
Exactly. It is the
follow,
mother.
yeah, go ahead, Anuj.
Oh, yeah. It is the mother's call who she takes into that difficult task. We should not ask. As we said now that we should not call the higher forces. Similarly, we should not venture into the lower forces as well, lower night as well.
Yeah, we should not become egoistically engaged. Yes, absolutely. But consciously growing, it's not a bad thing. You are not falling unconscious. You are not opening to the anti-divine forces, allowing them to capture you. Yes, your consciousness, your soul. You do not allow it because you are holding on to the purpose of the night as the builder of consciousness forward. So in that sense, yes, to be conscious in the night is a very great thing, but not as I will not sleep or something. Then you will break yourself and egoistically you will do damage, definitely. Yeah, that's what.
Hmm. Yes. Yes. Thank you.
And even if we fall unconscious, it is whatever we achieved, received, is actually accumulated, is penetrating. It is inbuilt in this alternation of darkness and light, already inbuilt in the process. They are taught well by the divine how to do it. So even if I don't do it, it will be done. Yeah. And even somewhere Mother says, Pavitra asks, what should I do when I meditate and the force comes from above, too strong, I fall asleep. And you know what she says? She says, good, fall asleep. You are open much more when you sleep. Because when your mind is active, doing something or trying, then you are not so open. So in that sense, Manoj, I agree with you. So we have to find that conscious attitude where this light, first of all, we have to live this light daytime. Yeah, we have to aspire the daytime and receive the grace. If you don't, there's nothing to do in the night, actually. So, and then once we receive, we have to retain it, to maintain it, and to allow it to work during the night by being open and by rejecting other interferences. Yes.
Is the alternation of day and night related to the dappling on the horses?
I don't know that. Maybe, could be. Dappling is usually connected to the overmental powers. there are many different colors, many colored, so to say, overmind. Interesting. Never could expect. First of all, the intuitive mind is yellow golden, and then you move higher to the Vishnu's realm, overmind, and then suddenly it's many colored, all colors, green, blue, red, yellow, golden, everything is mixed with, and that is the realm of the mother Prishni, the dappled, so to say, horse, or possibly. I do not know whether it is totally that, but I think that over mental realm, when it meets the darkness, for the supermind meets the darkness for the first time, as it were, that creates that dappled realm, yes, the realm of many-colored overmind. And in that sense, probably all the hues from the darkness to the intense light, and below and above, all this ultraviolet, ultra red, and so on, most probably that is what is meant. I do not know really. I'm just speculating here. But I think about this all my life and have no answer. So why many-colored overmind? It's amazing. Many-colored. All right. Thank you all for, if nobody else is saying anything, so I will close here for today and we continue next time. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinaha Sarve Santu Niramaya Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschit Dukha Bhag Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Namaste.